The sky over Iowa and the Midwest this morning is doing something that is making meteorologists pay very close attention. It is clear. There is no morning cloud cover, there are no early rain showers. The atmosphere has been allowed to heat from the surface up through the morning hours without interruption. And what that means for this afternoon is that the instability values are running significantly higher than they would be on a typical severe weather day. When morning convection suppresses the atmosphere, when early clouds and rain mix out the instability before afternoon, the severe weather threat gets capped. Storms struggle to fire. The environment is charged but not explosive. Today, that cap has not formed. The atmosphere is loaded and wide open. The ceiling on today's storm potential just went up significantly. Discrete supercells will begin firing south of Des Moines, Iowa, starting around 1 o'clock this afternoon. And from there, the timeline tracks fast. By 3 to 4 o'clock, these storms are approaching Davenport, northern Illinois, and southern Wisconsin. By 6 o'clock, Chicago, Milwaukee, Kenosha. By 8 to 9 o'clock tonight, southern Michigan, Flint, Detroit, Coldwater. That is a fast-moving, organized, severe weather event crossing some of the most densely populated corridors in the central United States. From Iowa to Michigan in under 12 hours. Apple-sized hail is possible with the strongest supercells this afternoon, 3-inch diameter stones. If you have vehicles outside in Des Moines, Davenport, the northern Illinois suburbs, or the Milwaukee corridor, move them to covered parking before 1 o'clock. The window to act is shrinking by the minute, and the tornado threat today in the Midwest is real, not marginal, not borderline. The clear morning sky has primed the instability to levels that support organized rotating supercells capable of significant tornadoes. There is a 5% hatched tornado risk designation active for the Des Moines area. That designation is not issued for typical weather. It signals that the Storm Prediction Center has elevated confidence in strong, potentially significant tornado development in that corridor this afternoon. Now, down in Texas and Oklahoma simultaneously, a completely separate but equally dangerous severe weather setup is underway. The 5% hatched tornado risk also covers the Red River Valley, the corridor running through North Texas and into southern Oklahoma. Dallas-Fort Worth specifically, and the Denton County area north of Dallas, is in an elevated risk zone today. Norman, Oklahoma, the Oklahoma City metro. These areas face a combination of giant hail and strong tornadoes from discrete supercells that have already been initiating and organizing through the morning hours. The terminology that matters here, hatched tornado risk, means probability is elevated and intensity potential is elevated. It is the Storm Prediction Center's way of communicating that not only are tornadoes likely, but the tornadoes that do develop could be significant, long track, violent, the kind that produces multi-mile damage paths. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area today, particularly north of the city in Denton County and toward Gainesville and Wichita Falls, treat this as a high alert day. Have your shelter location decided. Keep your alerts active through the afternoon and evening. By evening, storms from the Texas and Oklahoma outbreak will be pushing northeast into Arkansas, near Fayetteville, and will gradually weaken overnight. The worst of the southern tier threat passes before dawn. Tomorrow, the atmosphere takes a relative breath in the Midwest. The storm system exits. The severe weather shifts northeast, into Pennsylvania, New York, Buffalo, and into southern and central New England, where a low-end tornado risk develops as the system tracks up the coast. This is not a high-end event for the Northeast, but it is not a day to be completely unconcerned if you're in central New York or Connecticut. Isolated strong storms are possible, and in the Southeast tomorrow, something that is genuinely needed and genuinely welcomed. Light rain will reach Tennessee and Alabama. These states have been in a drought. The soil is cracked. The vegetation is dry. The wildfire risk has been elevated for weeks. Tomorrow's rainfall will not end the drought, but any meaningful moisture reaching these areas is a positive development. Every inch counts. Now, Friday. This is where I want your full attention. The atmosphere reloads for Friday with an urgency that is unusual even by the standards of this already active week. A massive storm system will drive severe weather from northern Wisconsin all the way southward into Texas. That footprint, from Wisconsin to Texas, represents a nearly 1,500-mile line of active weather risk. Here is how Friday's event unfolds. Discrete supercells initiate around 2 to 3 in the afternoon in Minnesota. These cells, individual rotating storms with access to the full instability of the warm sector, will begin tracking south and east quickly. But they will not stay discrete for long. By the evening hours, they begin merging and upscaling into a large squall line that races through Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, and Illinois. That squall line will produce 60 to 80 mile-per-hour winds along its leading edge. Widespread. Not isolated gusts. Widespread winds across a broad corridor. Trees down, power lines down, structural damage on a large scale. Travel on the roads during the passage of this line on Friday evening will be genuinely dangerous. And not just because of the wind. Visibility during a fast-moving squall line drops to near zero as the rain curtain arrives. Drivers who are on the road when this hits Friday evening may find themselves unable to see more than a few feet in front of their vehicle, with winds pushing them across lanes. Be off major highways before dark on Friday, and embedded within that line, tornadoes. Not individual long-track supercell tornadoes, but fast-moving, embedded QLCS tornadoes that form within the line with very little warning time. These tornadoes are brief, they are intense, and they occur in the rain and the darkness of a squall line environment where visibility is already near zero. For the southern tier of Friday's event, across Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, a separate and distinct threat emerges after sunset. The low-level jet stream strengthens after dark, and that low-level jet provides the wind shear that sustains rotating supercells into the overnight hours. Nocturnal tornado risk across the southern plains on Friday evening into early Saturday morning. This is the element of Friday's event that carries the most concern in terms of life safety. Nighttime tornadoes in a region where many people will not be awake to respond to warnings. Think about what that means in practical terms. A tornado warning sounds at 11 p.m. across North Texas or South Central Oklahoma. Most households are asleep. The outdoor sirens may or may not penetrate closed windows, air conditioning units, and the general noise of a home at night. The people most at risk are those who go to sleep Friday without having charged their phone, without having it in their bedroom at audible volume, and without having identified a shelter location in their home in advance. These are not abstract risks. Every major nocturnal tornado event produces fatalities from exactly this scenario. People who were not awake and did not have an alert system that reached them in time. Saturday shifts the severe weather east into the Ohio Valley and the Deep South. Scattered damaging winds, a couple of tornadoes, as the system transitions into its final phase and continues pushing toward the East Coast. And then Sunday, finally, a day of quiet for most of the country, as high pressure builds behind the departing system. But next week, the models are already signaling a return to the active pattern by the middle of the week. The engine driving this, the West Coast trough, the persistent Gulf moisture feed, the jet stream configuration, has not changed. It will keep generating severe weather opportunities at regular intervals through the foreseeable future of this spring season. Here is your clean timeline. Right now through 1 p.m. today. Midwest. The clear morning sky is loading the atmosphere. Move vehicles to covered parking before 1 o'clock. Know your shelter location. 1 p.m. through 6 p.m. Des Moines to Chicago to Milwaukee. Discrete supercells tracking south to north through Iowa and northern Illinois. Apple-sized hail and significant tornadoes possible. 5% hatch tornado risk for the Des Moines area. Most active window is 3 to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. through 9 p.m. Chicago, Milwaukee, Kenosha, southern Michigan. Stormline pushes through. Damaging winds and embedded tornado threat as cells upscale. Flint, Detroit, Coldwater in the wind damage zone by 8 to 9 p.m. All day today. Red River Valley, Dallas-Fort Worth, Denton County, Norman, Oklahoma City. 5% hatched tornado risk. Giant hail. Significant tornado threat. Evening storms push into Arkansas near Fayetteville overnight. Tomorrow, Northeast and New England. Low-end tornado risk from Buffalo through central New England. Slight to marginal. Watch local alerts. Tennessee and Alabama. Light rain. Drought relief beginning. Friday. Wisconsin to Texas. One of the most active days of the week. Afternoon discrete supercells in Minnesota. Evening squall line through Iowa, Missouri, Wisconsin, and Illinois. 60 to 80 miles per hour winds and embedded tornadoes. Nocturnal tornado threat across Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas after dark. Be indoors before sunset Friday. Saturday. Ohio Valley and Deep South. Scattered damaging winds and isolated tornadoes as the system clears eastward. Sunday. Genuine quiet for most of the country. The first real break this week. Mid-next week, pattern reloads. Active severe weather returns. Stay connected every single day. We will see you in the next update.